Hey, it's AK47 over at Deckmar Trades via TradeCaster.com. Josh Smith Official, Prime Trading on Instagram and YouTube. Here we go. Let's get to it. Finally, the ThinkorSwim breakdown. That's right, the tutorial, my setup, kind of the overview of ThinkorSwim and how I roll through it, kind of showing you things that I know, what I do, how I use it on a daily basis. Now, let's get into the beginning thing that I always try to help a lot of traders out with when you log in. Now, either you're paper trading or you're going to live. Either way, it's going to help you. This is that little watch hand button that we're talking about right here in the bottom left-hand corner that you can press on that little gear right there. And now, of course, right from the get-go, you can start changing like your English. You know, you can go through all the different languages. You want dark mode, light, all the different modes. And then, of course, you can actually see those better, and you can change the color scheme actually when you actually log in. Now, the main thing is what we're worried about right down here. The memory usage. This is what you need to keep up with par with what you have on your computer and how big the RAM and memory size is on your computer. Now, usually a laptop, you're probably going to be set up somewhere between the 128 and the 512, and you want to stick with the 3072. Now, if you're like me and you have a bigger computer with more memory, more RAM, now I'm usually rolling in between 1024. If I have a little bit more stuff on my computer, so I'm not using all my memory RAM, or if I want to use all of it ready to rock and roll, I use 2048. So on a bigger, computer, you have more memory RAM. You're either starting at 1024, going up to 2048, and you're going to obviously start at the 60, go up double from the laptop version, or a smaller RAM memory version, which would be obviously under a terabyte. This is a terabyte essentially. This would be 256 gig. This would be 512 gig. Now, of course, you have a terabyte plus memory. You're wanting to roll with one of these, and then of course you're wanting to roll with the 6144. So I usually have it up on the 1024 and the 6144. You have a smaller computer, I'd do the 256 or the 512 at most, and the 3072. You have a bigger memory size like me, start with a 1024. You can do 3072. I like the 6144 a little bit better. Now I'm going to go ahead and you press save when you're done. I don't need to press save. That'll take a few minutes or a minute or two for it to all kind of log in and save in the memory system. But I just want to roll that with you one more time just so I can go over it. Smaller memory, smaller computer, either 128 or 256 or 512. One of these, 256 or 512. And then you're going to have 3072. A bigger computer size like mine, and what I have mine set on all the time, I have mine set on the 1024 and the 6144. You can always go up a little bit more if your memory is bigger. Now press cancel to go back into that, and now let's go ahead and log in. All right, now let's get to the actual setup, the breakdown, how I use ThinkorSwim. I have it back, as you can see now, a little different. It's the simulated trading. I don't accidentally show you my account numbers. I'm going to show you in a minute how to show it and change the privacy setting. Just go through everything. Then we'll accidentally show my account information. So let's get to, and of course, you've seen this, which I love. We're going to start with the home screen, which I hardly ever start with the home screen. You hardly ever are on the home screen, but it's really cool. You know, usually you can have different video set up here, different widgets, orders you place for the day. You can see that I was messing around earlier on this, trying to make sure I have kind of what I was wanting to, break down here in a minute and have that down right. You'll see the, kind of couple of small orders I placed, which I'm going to place some orders with you guys. Another reason why I wanted to have the simulated trading up as well. I just don't have that big a deck, account where I can just place one, small trade at a time, one little, even if it's just a share. I just don't have that many trades available yet. My account's not that big. So, and right here on the home screen, it's simple enough to where you can, like I said, that's why I'm never on it, because there's really not much information you're gathering from it unless it's some kind of news and updates from ThinkorSwim. Usually and I'll show you, which we'll get into next. And like I said, we'll get through these tabs. You'll see this in a different box all together. So you really are never even worried about the home screen. Now, the screen you might be on a lot of the time is going to be right here in the top left-hand corner, and that's your monitor tab. Now, that's where you are going to check your positions, your boxes, and so on and so forth. But what I want to get to first, before we even get to that, is clicking this little button. Now, if you go to the left-hand side of your screen, you're going to see this little arrow right here. You're going to see it's going to highlight and kind of light up when you get on it. It collapses, and it, of course, opens up. This is going to show you all your account information. And, of course, here was what I was going to get into earlier, where you can, of course, right here in the top left-hand corner, show you where you can show your privacy, hide this, and then make it back and forth where you can hide it so that way it's not always showing. So when I'm doing my lessons, you can see that when it's usually, obviously it's not on simulated trading, I'm doing my lessons live, I have it hidden so that way you don't see my account settings. So that's how you do that right there. You press the right here, the top left-hand corner, and that's how you do that. Now back to this right here, because I want to get to it. Of course, it'll show it again. And of course, you can adjust that by just clicking any of these. You can customize the gadget right here, and it's going to come out and it's going to show you every little thing that you can add to to it. Whatever you want to add, Forex cash. You know, if you're a big Forex trader, intraday stuff, net total cash. It'll just show you all unsettled cash. I mean, if you have a cash account, of course. If you're a margin account, most of my margin stuff's already up there, but this is a paper trading account, so it really doesn't matter. But that's where you would adjust at. These three little arrows that you see in the boxes on the top right hand of any box, that's going to be your kind of like, oh, let me click on this, and it's going to be actions. Of course, let's see how it highlights, and then a thing pops up that says show action menus. That's exactly it. Show actions menu. So that's what you can do with this, and you can always detach it. And the coolest thing is you can add down here. So right here in the bottom left-hand corner, you see this plus button. You can keep adding as many of these gadgets as you want. Time and sales, level 2, whatever you want, you can add. So you can have another level 2 down here. You look at 2 level 2s, and the main thing would be about this. Say you have it on, you're looking at TAOP today, and another stock you're looking at, was another one with NCTY. Remember how, and like Deck does, and how he has them right now. If you're looking, over at TradeCaster, and he has his E-Trade level 2, E-Trade Pro level 2 popped out. Same thing right here. You're going to click on, well, it's not that one right there. It's the one above it, because this is actually in the window. See level 2 on NCTY. So that's actually the top part of this little widget. You click on this right here, and of course it's going to pull up the show actions, and you just detach the widget as it shows right there, and you can make this as long as you want, as short as you want. Well, it's not really wanting me to go short, but there you go. Finally, but there you go. As long as you want. You can make it any size you want, and then you have multiple popped out. So you want to have TAOP out as well. So detach that widget, and then whammy, you're going to have that out as well. So you'll have multiple out at the same time. So, and then you don't have, like I said, it's not just, well, here, I'll show you that it's not just, like, oh, no, it's just one. Watch, I'll put this one over here so you can kind of see. I'll detach NCTY one more time. Oops, wrong one. And so there's this one. There's this one, and now there you go. And you can pop out as many as you want. So that's what's cool about it. And right here, and you could attach more widgets. You can do more and more and more, and copy it, add it, more info on it. You know what I mean? Trade alerts. That's what's so cool. It has so many options on ThinkorSwim. It's kind of endless as far as these small little mini options. But that's how you detach it. Top right-hand corner. And it's just a normal click. You don't have to right click or anything. Just a normal left, what you normally click on the left hand side of your mouse, and boom, it shows detach it. And of course, if, like I said, more info on it, it's same from right there. You can do all these different things. You can pull up a chart. Like I said, boom, let's just pull up a multi-charts, boom. And so you have this pulled up all of a sudden. So, and now, of course, we're over to the charts tab. But now, of course, let's go back over to monitor. But that's just how fast you can pull up a chart. So you want, oh, well, let me see the chart on it real quick. So just, once again, a lot of it is just trial and error, just clicking on things. But the main 2 buttons that you're going to see on any of these are going to be your actions menu, which is going to be just attaching it or switching it or deleting it, which you can. You just, boom, delete it, and it's gone. Say, what's the point of honestly having a chart that small? So let's delete it. Boom, it's out of there. Then, like I said, the bottom little part of it, this is the attach, switch, delete. The bottom 3 little levers is kind of like the copy NCTY, which just kind of copies it, where you have another one down here, add to the watch list, which you can add to this watch list. You can adjust this anytime, which is cool. Like I said, no, it is about adding different widgets. Down here, you want to add a second watch list. You can add another watch list if you want to, but right around here, all you have to do right here, scroll up and down, you can add as many as you want. Like, you can just keep adding like a GME, okay? And then you can just keep adding and adding and adding. It's going to, so you can just add another one. And then once you add, say, ACTY, okay, well, let's add another one. You just scroll down, and there's another spot for another one. So it's almost endless, and you're just kind of making it bigger as you scroll along and add to it. So that is just this little widget kind of thing on the side. Like I said, there's this little, like right here, the little collapsible little key right here with the arrow in it. You press that, and that can stay there all the time if you want. I don't really need it and leave it open. Like I said, I'm in and out of my trades. I'm here for an hour, 2-3 hours most. I'm looking at my trades. I don't kind of need, I'm not that full-time trader where I'm just watching 10, 20 stocks all day long. There are days and maybe times I'll get there, but for the time being, that's not it. Now we'll get to our, well, like I said, we're going to top to bottom here, from left to right. Monitor tab, activity and positions. This is what's going to show you your account, what you've been in and out of all day. Like earlier, I was just trying to figure out, how to place a couple of different trades. One of them being make sure I knew how to do the trailing stop. But right here, just market ordering in, which I'll get to these, but it shows you 500 shares if you, what stock you played, the price you got in and out of, and that's basic information. Same right here, canceled orders. Of course, I was canceling some because I was placing specific limit orders, which I'll show you here in just a little bit. And of course, how to cancel them. Then all the way down here, unallocated. So these are plays for the day, just kind of showing where they are now, the chains of where they've been, your overall P&L, so on and so forth. Your account statements and next over what stocks you've traded over the past. You can set it day right here, 1 day back, all the way back to 300. I think it's up to 370 days. You can set it back to if you want to for your statement, and that way you can look back all the way back to 370 days ago. Look at a specific ticker, how you did on it, how you played it. This is kind of your breakdown on the account statement. It really breaks down it for a yearly or a certain time frame. So it's just the day, which is activity and positions for the day. Account statement's more of your, hey, I'm gonna look at the last week, the last month, last 3 months. The last year is for your account statement. FX reports. Don't really look at this too much, but it's just things, once again, you can kind of set things up. Your strategy roller, if you have strategies, like to kind of look at what you're good at and what you're not doing so well. I'm hardly ever in these two. Rarely ever. The trade tab. Let's move over to this. Usually you're in all products, actually, and this is for your option trader. This is where you're going to trade your options. So you're looking for options for, say, like Apple, or what would be a good one? Apple API. I'm sure Apple's got maybe some pulled up. I don't really know. Maybe not. Maybe GameStop. Maybe we've got some in GameStop. But yeah, here we go. Let's look at GameStop. So here we go. And then I'm not a big options trader, but this is where it's going to show you down what's available, what day they're available till. Beautiful setup for an options trader. Let's get to the Forex trader. Same thing. You can have you're looking at multiple charts at once. So this is just the buy and sell. You can change these as you want to go through. Futures trader. Here's your futures trader tab. Already pulled up. Look how many charts and how many different essentially futures you can look at once. Active trader. This is the only tab I'm ever really in on the trade tab. This is beautiful to have when you're wanting to look at 2 stocks at once, up and down, one on top of the other. This is about the only tab you can do that to. I think you can maybe do it in the charts tab too, but sometimes when I just want to go straight to, and all I have to do, like if I'm in the charts tab, I want to go straight over, I've already have this pulled up. I'm already an active trader. So as soon as you go to the trade tab, boom, I'm an active trader. So when I was looking at AMC and GME, how they were trading together, and they kind of still are to this day. Look how nuts the chart still kind of looks weeks after their crazy runs. This is beautiful to set up. Beautiful setup. Now I'll get through how each chart's set up in a little bit. Don't worry about that right now, but I want to let you know the active trader is huge when you want to look at 2 stocks moving, parallel, like used to when you want to look at maybe the SPY and, TVIX or whatever it was, UVXY, whatever it is now. But when you want to look at 2 stocks that are either running opposite or with each other, this is huge to do right here. This is just, it's beautiful. I mean, it does not get any prettier than this to watch 2 stocks run together by using the active trader in the trade tab. Now let's go over to analyze. Again, never in the analyze tab. Again, more for options traders. You can see add simulated trade, risk profile. Look how much stuff you can get into. Probability analysis, economic data. All these different things you can get into that I don't use and dive into. But that just shows you how endless and how deep. And once again, for those traders that are this is why it takes a little more memory. Let me know if light speed and all and they don't. But like a lot of these brokers and their trading platform setups don't have all these crazy little things for you to maneuver through essentially in a profile, or I should say a platform for a trading broker. But analyze, great to go through if you do a lot of options trading, futures trading, that type of thing. It's going to break a lot of things down for you. Scan. Now here's your scanners. A lot of people like the ThinkorSwim scanners. I don't have to use them much. So I'm in TradeCaster. I'm in DexRoom. We're looking at every stock when it's hot, right there in front of our eyes all day long. When I need to see a hot stock, I'm in chat. I'm ready to rock and roll and know literally which one's usually popping and rocking and rolling. Plus, I'm looking at his own scanners that we get for being in chat. But this is where you can easily set this up. Say I want to look a net change of say like you can set this up. I'm just going to put stuff in. You want to see a net change of 35% today. Volume of that's percentage change. We'll say 35% change. Net change, we'll just not worried about that. But this is just minimum. We'll just say 15. Volume, always have a volume if you're looking at this, at least of say close to 1 million. We'll do a million. We'll go ahead and do 1 million, and then we'll just don't worry about the max right there, and then boom, just press scan. And then there you go. You're going to look at a lot of your top stocks for the day, what are spiking, how much they're up. Here's their percentage change for the day, net change, so on and so forth. So, and I'm just put in a random stock, and then so that way you can just look at it. But you can add your own scanners and look, add filter. You can add so many filters, and there's so many to go through. You can add different ones than just this as well. But that is where you put where you would set up your scanners for ThinkorSwim. Same with right here, option hacker. So you're looking at options, your spread hacker. I mean, all this helps you break down your stocks, your plays. If you're looking for scans, obviously you're scanning for plays, so that way they're alerting for you. Then you can turn actually alerts on, which I'll show you how here in a minute. Market Watch, not using this too much, but just shows you, look at this, visualize, quotes. Of course, that's just kind of like you're literally like another place to get to your watch list. Here's where your alerts, where you can have them set off and go to if you want to set off certain alerts. And again, any of these tabs, back to the monitor tab. I forgot, let me show you this real quick. If you want to break this out to like Deck does, if you want to show how to detach this, same thing right here. Look at that. It's all, any of these tabs you're ever looking for are in the top right hand corner. So like, Deck, he's looking, so he always has his order entry box. Boom. This is all the way over. This is in my other window now. This is in my other one. As you can see, it's halfway in this one and halfway in my, on my, I should say monitor, but it's in my other monitor now. And there you go. And you can break all of it down. There's your working orders, your canceled orders. They're all right here. That's all you have to do. Let me close out of it. It's right here again. And all you have to do is, and it's going to highlight. It says attach this layout in a separate window. And you click it. Whammy. Whammy. Now for those traders real quick, and I didn't get into this, but for those traders that want to, when you first open up an account, this is crucial for you in paper trading. And it's pretty much right here in front of you. I thought it was anyway. I guess it's right here. Customize. Well, where'd it go? It used to be right down here in the bottom right-hand corner. Now I don't know exactly. Now it's like, okay, now you're going to do this to me. There's usually a button down here. Okay, because I'm on all accounts. Okay, so change this up here. So when you're on all accounts, don't do all accounts. Go to margin or your IRA, whatever I think they kind of set you up with kind of both of those. Adjust account. When you adjust account, you just click on it right there. That is how you're going to adjust your account. This is super crucial. I cannot explain to you enough. Do not start with, because it's going to usually start you with like 100,000, I want to say. And you're always like, well, what do we do? Or, I think default, whatever default even is. But then it's like, well, whatever. This is goofy. What's going on? I can only do 25, 50. I can't do like, my point is when you open up a paper trading account with ThinkorSwim or any paper trading account, adjust it immediately from the get-go of what you're going to start with. Like when I first started this one, you can see it's up to like 70K now or whatever I've got it up to. I started it at like 2,500, 3,000. I forgot what it was. I started it at last year. Kind of where I was at that time or the year before, whenever it was, I was like, okay, I need help with this along the way. So that, I kept going back and forth when I was out of trades, but you're going to start it with whatever you want. All you're going to do is you're going to come to this, double click on it, highlight it, just erase it, whatever you're going to do. And like mine, you want to do 2,500 or you want to start with 7,500 or whatever you're going to start with, that's what you're going to put in. And all you have to do is kind of click out of it, make sure it's clicked on margin and press apply, and whammy, you're at 7,500. If you want to do, it's going to be, 45, what, even just random number, whatever, 45.79, cool, apply, boom, and it's at 45.79. That's all you have to do. Again, over here on the right-hand corner, it says adjust account. Of course, don't forget, you can't be on all accounts because that's what just fooled me. See, it won't let you because you can't adjust all accounts. You got to pick which one you want to do. So go to the margin one, make sure it's on, or if you do IRA, either one, doesn't matter. Press adjust account, then double click on it, make sure it all erases, and just type in what you want. 4,500, 45,555. It's going to be 7,000, whatever, 7,900. Then all you have to do is you kind of have to highlight it again. See, apply wasn't, as you could see, it was kind of grayed out there still. Press margin again, make sure it's highlighted on margin. And then once you see apply is green and lit up, press apply, then you have the account size that you need to start with. But that's how you adjust your account, and that is huge and crucial. So I wanted to get back over that again. Those two things right there before you, obviously. And of course, again, look, create an alert. And right here, you can create an alert for your margin account at or above, I think, where is the stock that I know there's a way to do this right here. Oh, I guess this is just about your account. Notify me. I guess this is just about your account. But there you go. You can show like when this account, net liquid change of this much and you get an alert set off, and you can create an alert just like you can for your stock, which is really cool. So this, you hear a little ring, ring, and it rings for you and lets you know that something's kind of like deck when the alert's going off for you. All right, back to, let's get through it. Market watch as we went through, sorry. All right, now let's get through charts. Now, once again, we'll skip over charts first. Tools, there's a think log, there's the videos here, shared items, but this is once again just kind of a cool way to see the most recent, what was on CNBC, like literally what was pretty much on it, little articles, or when you see stuff on TV, they're going to put this on here, so you can just click on this, and this will be like something that literally, as you can see, happened, at say, earlier today at 12:37 my time, it happened. The halftime report, traders give their top picks to watch for the second half, and then boom, you get there and you can watch it. So pretty cool to have. I'm, like I said, again, not in it that much. Education, same thing. Again, for newer traders, it's a great thing to do. You're right there, and that just shows you how much is inside of actually this app alone. Look at this. It has a glossary. how to ThinkorSwim. And this is like a setup you can literally go through, and it's going to try to show you. You can watch videos right here alone of how to set up your own ThinkorSwim and how to, like, what things are, how to roll through it. Yeah, you can just go through. Look at the glossary. Are you kidding me? Look at this. And the one thing I didn't show up, look at, I think it was in Tools. Maybe it was in Market Watch. Look, it's got a calendar. We got a calendar here. This is a calendar. Are you kidding me? This is crazy. So you can literally go through and it's going to show you each stock. Literally, oh, this stock has earnings call at this time. This stock, all these different stocks have blah, 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 blah. All every day. Look at this, all the way through the week. This is through the week. This is through the 27th, and it's going to show you which stock, what they are, what the alert is for the stock. Like, say, Dish right here has an earnings call before market. So you get my point. Super cool to have. Super cool. Very, very nice to have. So if you know all those calendars out there, boom, you have one right here on your own platform. Now, real quick, let's kind of roll through this as well. Right-hand corner. Oops, wrong one. Right-hand corner right here, that's the same thing. This little ticker, so you go over this little gear hand, is for this, to adjust what you see up here, your cash, your forward, and blah, 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 blah. This, the setup, which I was trying to go to, now you can do your application settings. And it's just kind of general stuff in here. You can adjust your account, your positions, what you want each one to kind of look like, your active trader, your system right here again, your startup, your feel and look again. Here's where you can, like on the inside where you can adjust it, and then it actually shows you. So there's with the light version, so you can go through each version. I just keep it on dark. Display, again, calculate, all these different things you can kind of go through, notifications, order fills. Here's, of course, a big thing for anyone there's a lot of traders out there that ask about hotkeys. Here's where you adjust your hotkeys in ThinkorSwim. Again, the setup button, top right hand corner, setup right here, plus application settings. Then you're going to go over to hotkeys. It's pretty simple and easy to see. My profile, you just change your name. So it's really generic, very easy to see. It's not hard to see, very easy to set up. Your messages up here, this would be just messages you have at something for ThinkorSwim. Maybe you've placed an order, stuff like that. Here's a support button and our support tab, and it literally comes up, and all you have to do is create a support request, and it's in its own little tab. I know sometimes it takes a second to get to hear from them, but boom, you can say, hey, this is what's happening. They'll get to you, and you don't even have to call in. You can just wait for them to get back to you. Yes, I'm good on that. And then the chat rooms, it's literally different chat rooms you have set up if you want anything for, I think it's for learning and stuff like that. Once again, not really in that too often. I've used the support tab here and there. Then I get my messages. Of course, that's when they've hit me back up. Never in the home screen. And like I said, monitor tab here to see my trades here and there, what I placed today, make sure where my fills were if I want to go back over my trades for the day. Okay, here's where I got in, here's where I got out. I'm hardly ever detaching it, but if you want to, there's the button right there, the little detach button. As you can see, it looks like a detach button. You just click that, and it comes, there's your own little one you can move around throughout your screen. And then account statement, I'm in there just kind of go over my trades that, for the last year. Now let's get into it. The big thing, the setup, right? I know that's what you all been kind of waiting for, the setup. I wanted to break all that down and how you can, of course, do different things throughout ThinkorSwim, the little tidbit here and there. But the main thing I wanted to do now is, of course, get into the setup and what I use. So this is either this or the Flex Grid is where I'm opening up every day, right? I'm looking at either the Flex Grid, so I'm looking at 4 charts where it's pulled up. That's fine, either one. But here's what I'm looking at 75% of the time is a Flex Grid. The reason I'm in the Flex Grid 70% of the time, I guess I should not 40, but 70% of the time is because I'm looking at each chart I want to look at. And of course, I just alerted this in chat. Look at the Batman alert. This kind of looks like a Batman, but you get my point. Let me zoom out a little bit more. It looks a little bit more like the Batman, but right, the left wing, the head, the other wing, and then, but every time you see this, it crashes down on the other side. And every time I say that, watch out for the Batman effect. And then as soon as this crashed, I called it. I literally alerted it right in here. I said it keeps testing 14 if it doesn't break above. Anyway, let's get into this though. The rest of this. Each little tidbit of how I have each little, chart set up, and they're all the same, except for some will have news, some won't. I can just collapse these. I don't really need them sometimes because I'm not really looking at the level 2 too hard on ThinkorSwim, but you can see the level 2 and how it's set up on ThinkorSwim. Like I said, it's not the best. It's not the prettiest, but it is usable and it is functional for sure. But how I usually have it set up is something along these lines. Now, sometimes I have the news and level 2 pulled up right here, and sometimes I don't, just to kind of give it a little bit bigger chart. But that's how I have a lot of these set up, is how I'll have either the news and level 2 at the bottom, or I won't. And now on the top chart, I'll always have, and I'll show you how to adjust this. As you can see, the volume looks a little different, right? It's blue at the bottom. That's the basic color. But then here, it's finally kind of like you see maybe on Dex Trade Ideas or a lot of the other ones where it's, a selling candle or a green buying candle. And how do you adjust that? And how we'll get into some orders is what we're going to do quick is we're going to right click. We're going to right click on the graph. And the main thing I'm ever doing from right here is first off, either adding a drawing, and that's where you're going to put your trend lines in, team. And that's your very top little thing that you see right here. See the little line? It looks like a trend line. You're going to right click again. Let me get out of it. Left click gets out of it. Just move out of the box. If you messed up, right click on accident. Right click on the chart. Add a drawing. Left click on the trend line button. And now to put it in, which I didn't mean to there, but how to get rid of it. See, I accidentally did that. Like, oh, I messed up. What do I do here? Right click on it. Remove drawing. Do you see that right there? Right click on it. Remove, I've duplicated it, but remove drawing. And duplicate it will literally duplicate it. Put it right there on top of it. Remove drawing. Now I want to do it. Let's go ahead and do this again. Add a drawing. Trend line. Right here. And that's what you have to do. I just now realized that it starts wherever you click it in. And now it's going to end wherever you go up here to, and then left click, and it's done. That's how you add it in one way. And of course, right click, remove drawing. Now another way to put it in, and sometimes how I do it, and it's a little easier for me to put it in, because like I said, it just sometimes will pop up on you like that way. This way it won't pop up on you. You can actually always place it where you want. So go to your drawings up here. See up top right here on the top of your charts. Every chart's going to have it. You're going to have this little arrow hand. Drawing tools. Just wait for it to pop up too. It's going to highlight and then it's going to show you what it means. Analyst tools. Pattern analyst tools. So drawings. Go back to drawings. Drawing tools. Go down to drawing tools right here. So left click on it. Go down to drawing tools. And now we're going to see more. We're going to see the pan button. We're going to see the pointer, which we're always on. We're going to see all these different ones. You can put in an arrow if you want to. You can put text notes in, an oval. You can put in all these different little things that you want to. Here's your trend line again. Of course, the line, just like the last one, right? Left to right. Of course, I'll go hover over it. Hovering over it will highlight and show you what it means. Left click. Now that is what you're using nonstop, is just trend lines. So right here, so you can go right and just left click. Wherever you want to put it in, left click and just push, essentially just click the mouse. And this is how I'll put my trend line in. As you can see, right around there is how I'd probably put this trend line in. And beautiful crack of it. Look at that great short to be had. But right there, and then wherever you want it to go to. So if you want it right here, that's not where you want to put it in. You want to put it at the base of all these candles. The base of all these candles. That's fine. It didn't hit these candles. You can't, and that could be one trend line. And there's one trend line crack, right, team? You could kind of put that one in there. But this one's another one. The tip of this candle. Regardless, wherever you want to put it in, extend it out. Click on the chart again with the left side. Left click. Boom, it's done. That's how you put a trend line in. Drawings, drawing tools, press the trend line button. Now say you want to adjust it. Go back up to pointer. This is what I'm always on, is the pointer. The pointer. You're going to right click on it. Oh, no, not right click. You're just going to click on it. Right click on it. That's how you delete it, right? Right click on it. Or you can extend this a lot of time. Instead of trying to move it, extend it yourself, which I'm about to do, or move it yourself, just go down to this. Extend to the right. Boom. Look at that. It does it immediately for yourself. Don't have to do a damn thing. It's beautiful. I love it. Now, like I said, you want to adjust it. Like, it's not perfect. Left click on it, and you're going to see you can move it around. You can just grab a hold of it. Just touch it. Go up to it. Literally, just click it with the left side, the left pointer. Or, I'm trying to just let you know, don't right click on it. Left click, and you can move it around. Boom. Anywhere you want it. It's good to go. Go up to it. Anywhere you want it. It's good to go. And now, once you actually click off of it again, and you can see what I'm saying, you can see the difference. Red line, it's always there. Go up to click on it again to where you can maneuver it. It's blue. And now what these little things are showing you at the end, this is where you can do this. You can move it wherever you want. You can make it however you like. And so that's where you do this right here. Okay, there's where I like it. Got it. Boom. Click off of it again with the left side. You're off of it. But that's how you put a trend line in. My favorite way, usually just going up here, because you can just do this. See, I'm fast at it. Like, here's how fast I'll do it. I don't need to put the drawing in. Boom, 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 boom. Well, it didn't do it that, so there you go, but still, you get my point. So, and then there you go. And then when I'm done, you can even right-click with this, but I remove that drawing. Okay, right-click, remove that drawing. Now I need to go back to my pointer, so that way I'm back in where I want it. And there you go. And that's how, and I'm always in pointer. I'm always in this one right here. It's just easier for me to do this. If I need to, scroll back a little bit, do this, kind of zoom out. It's just, I just maneuver fast through ThinkorSwim now because I've used it so long. But I'm always using the pointer. And when you want to do this, all you have to do is left click, hold it down, and you just boop. That's how you do that. You can't just touch it and then do it. You have to, if you hear my mouse, you listen to it, you have to click. And that's me scrolling across with it. But click and scroll, and that's how you zoom in. Click and scroll, and that's how you zoom in. Now, again, when I'm in time frames, usually to start the day up until about 2 to 3 hours into market open, I'm in a 1 minute time frame. And here's your time frame. Again, let's go through these. Edit studies. This is going to show you what studies you have on there, and if you want to edit them, immediately it's going to pull them up so you don't have to do anything to them like right-clicking on them. You can edit them there or add from there. You can add studies. Here's your gear hand. Again, simple things so you can adjust things. This is your chart setting. That's your gear hand, and of course, here's 2 ways to do essentially your chart settings. From the gear hand right here, there's your gear hand, which I just pressed on. It said chart settings, or right-clicking on the chart, going down to style, and press settings. Bring up the same thing. Easier way though is just clicking on this, and this is how now I'll get to. And for the most part, you're not changing any of these things. You're going to keep these things. I could change. I guess I got to just now realize. I guess I could change this to Eastern Standard Time, but I'm just going to keep it local to keep it in my head. I know when the chart, or I should say, I know when the bell opens and rings here. But hey, if you want to go ahead and just keep it on Eastern Time Zone, wherever you want to put it, you can put it. And this is where you can literally adjust all your different, And the only thing I'm ever adjusting, and I did, was going over to your appearance. And this is where you adjust, as you can see, and I'll kind of do it for you, your volume at the bottom. So here I'm going to go press apply and see how that just changed blue. And now color as symbol ticks, that's the color. Preset color is blue, color symbol ticks, or of course there's just background, and then you can just change it, which I don't want to change my background. You can change the background color if you want to as well. If you want to change the background to a different color, you totally can. If you want to take the grid off, you can take the grid off, apply. See, and then it's just a chart. I like the grid on. It just makes it cleaner to me. But you just press apply, and then it's back on. Again, if you want to change that preset color, I like it blue for whatever reason. And the reason I have it blue down below, I'm going to change it back to why I have it here. The reason I have it blue down below is because you can see a lot of the times, like say when the volume starts running into it, and I watch, I'm going to do it down here. I'll go to charts, charts, move this, the chart settings, the appearance. And now watch when I change it to colored and apply. It's really hard to see the chart. Now, I love the charting here, right? I love the charting, but it's just really hard to see, right? It's just hard to see the ticker. Where it's at, the actual candle itself, that's the hard thing to see, I guess is what I'm really trying to say, is the candle. Where is it at? How's it moving? I know you can really just look at the price level too, but I like looking at those candles too myself. Like it's like a combo of things. So I've got to be able to see that. So that's why I have the blues down below so I can kind of see that. And of course, now pressing OK. But kind of just the rest of these, just going through, that's all you have to do. If you press the chart settings, of course, you can right click and of course style, and you can do a lot of them right here on style. If you want to change you can change it, like how your candles are, so on and so forth. But the easiest way to see it is going to your settings button, which is the gear hand on each top right hand, the top right hand corner of every chart. Here's your gear. That's how you change this. And of course, here, like I said, this is where I add and adjust all your time frames. You can add all different ones if you want to. But yeah, you can do all these different, all these different candle bars, candle, all these different lines if you want to line. This is where you can change all that, your charts up. But this is how I have mine set up, just so you can see. And once again, if you're like, well, what am I on? So just so you can see, I'll kind of leave this here for a second so you can see what's clicked and what's not clicked. But this is how I have mine set up. Of course, I'm not getting into any of those, but you get my point. So that's how I have my setup. Pretty basic. Don't change it too much. Now, the other thing, what am I changing on here? Well, the only thing I've ever added was the VWAP. And how you add your studies, and we'll go through it. Of course, here's your style. Again, if you want to change up your time, your time frames, your chart mode. Again, if you want monkey bars, if you want however you want your chart mode, however you want your chart type, all the different thing. I keep it basic. So there you go. I have standard. I keep it at candle. If you want to print it or share your chart, that's the only thing I add though would be the VWAP, and then we'll get to it. Of course, your drawings, which I showed you earlier, and really the only thing you can do from there is going, which I don't. They have a lot of stuff, grayed out, but the main thing is going over to your drawing tools and clicking whichever one you want. You want like I said, any of these different percentage things were Fibonacci retracements, text, so on. It's the price level, the trend line. That's the only thing I ever use. This is the only thing I ever use. Trend line, and I go back to my pointer. Trend line, like I said, I showed you how to use it. Just go to trend line, wherever you want to start it at. Say you want to start it, earlier. Here's a steep trend line. It's a great short. Click on it wherever you want to start. You click on it wherever you want it to end, and that's it. And then I go back over here to drawing tools, and I'm right back to the pointer and right back there. Oh, okay, I want to remove it. It's done. It's cracked. I don't need that anymore. And really look in the end. Look how this held as resistance in the end all the way through. I mean, that's why you keep trend lines in. Another quick little small lesson, and then you can extend it. Or, if you didn't want to do it like I did, because sometimes I'm so quick at doing it myself, right click on it, extend to the right, and then whammy, it rolls off straight to the right from where you started it at. Now right click on it again, remove drawing. Now, how to add studies. Right here. That would be a quick study, which is essentially the same thing, or add study, but they're essentially the same thing. Quick study are just some of your main ones a lot of people use, trend studies, so on and so forth. But the main one I'm going to add is add study. I'm going to go to all studies, and look how many there have. Moving averages, and you can add moving averages. A lot of people go ahead and they go down here. If you want to add different moving averages, look how many different ones you want to add. And of course, the main two we're going to use are what team? We're going to use the daily SMA. That's the main one we like using, the simple moving average, right? And the exponential moving average. Well, here's the simple moving average as well. That's the daily. Either one of them, that's when you have it set up on the daily. But those are the main two. Now, of course, I scrolled, and that's the one thing I don't like about it. You barely go off of it, and it's gone. But the main ones we want to add, and the main one I want to add would be the VWAP. So add a study, all studies, go down to V, right here, V, and it's your very first one, VWAP, and there you go. And then it's going to just just click on it, and boom. Of course, I already have mine added, and it's there. But you want to add any of these different studies. I mean, look how many there are to add. Look how many. Look at all these different studies. I mean, you ever heard of the Ethlers or the Ball? Of course, you've heard of maybe some of these crossovers. But let's go to add study. Let's go to the LBR. You get my point. There are studies I have never heard of. Now, they may work for some people, like the mass index or the mat hold or the range bands or the Ray Bear power, the Ray Bull power, or the, of course, relative strength, of course, RSI. But, that's a good one. There's the RSI, and that's how you add the RSI, and that'll be right down there at the bottom. You used to have the RSI or the Bollinger Bands down there, like some Bollinger Bands. But that's how you add it. I mean, you just literally click on it. Not right click, but click on it. Go to add study. Click on all studies, and it's an alphabetical order, so whichever one you want. Exponential moving average. Of course, that's going to be maybe in the moving averages. I think you actually have to go to moving averages, but there you go, moving averages, all the different moving averages. And of course, the easier way to do that would be just going over to moving averages, and there they all are for you, all the different ones. So that's why I love how it breaks it down for you. It's easy to get to a lot of them, but the main one, like I said, I'm going to add is just going to add study or quick study, or should I say add study, all studies, and that way it's down in the V's, very first V. And there's your VWAP. But there's how you add your study. You just click on it. Boom, you click on it, it's there. Boom, you click on it, it's there. You want to remove it. Like I said, all you have to do is click on this button right here. No, this button right here. Edit studies. And that's it. That's it. You just click on it. And you want to get rid of it right here. Boom. Press that X button. It's out of here. It's out of here, Kappa. So, and look at the Batman. Look at the Batman in full force with a beautiful short to be had there. Okay, now how I have each chart set up besides having the level 2 up. I have always I have, not always on time and sales down here so I can get more chart, but on the top, my top chart, I have time and sales. My bigger chart, so to speak, I have time and sales. I always have active trader, the AT lit up, TS lit up. That's time and sales, your active trader. And now I have my active trader set up. As you can see, all I have in there is my buy, sell, cancel, and flatten. So if I buy something, don't like it, and try to get out, which cancel works every once in a while. I know we've had trouble with that, trying to get out of a play real quick. Of course, that's why the cancel's there. The flatten's there for sometimes if a play goes, like I want to get all out, don't know how many shares I'm in still, or it's like I got to get out of this real quick. Just press flatten, boom, it gets rid of all your shares, however many you're in, sells all right then and there. That's why you got to keep flatten in there. And of course, sell market is going to be in there. Then I like having the quantity with buttons, which is this. It shows you how many, if you want to change 100, 300, 500, 1K, 2K, and then of course you can actually change it yourself to 1,121 if you want to. Your TIF's always in there from date, and I'll go through what that is in a minute, and then of course the order template and auto send. But that's my order and what I have in there, and you can see it's all right here. Your TIF, of course, that would be you want it good for the day. That's when you're day trading during the day hours, good till cancel. That's it's kind of the same thing, but it's good for forever essentially until you cancel it. And these are extended hours. These are the main two if you're trading in pre-market or after hours, before or after the bell. You want to change your TIF to EXT or GTC EXT, which is good till canceled extended hours. Now, template order, you can go single, OCO, or all these different brackets. You can have 3 different brackets. You click on this. You want to buy right now. You can set up 3 different areas of where you want to sell the stock. 3, which is crazy and awesome. So I love, and I'll get through these in just a minute, how I place these orders in just a moment. But then right here, you can just, like I said, look, you can adjust it. It goes by 100, but if 100 at a time, but if you want to put in literally 25 or 30, 50, I put in 1 early, and I'll show you I'll put in 1 in just a minute. You can just put in 1 or 10. And of course, it just gives you an easy way to kind of float through those numbers. And then here's your ladder system, or a lot of people like it, and they say, you know, I want to dip by at 1016. So they'll scroll down here to 1016, and here's what you're going to do, team. And here's my first order I'll place in. You're going to buy, and that's instant buy, right? You don't want to do that. You want to come down here, and you want to put, where's the instant buy? Come on here. I thought it was right here. Maybe you have to right click on it. I thought right here you could also, it was a buy. I thought you could buy limit down here too. Now, the way I limit by now, I don't use the ladder system too much. You know, I'm not a big ladder buyer, but that's what they do. So that way you can put in orders in though down here is the point. What I like to do, team, as I like, say if I like a dip buy, say right here, and we'll just say I kind of like the 981 area. I'm going to right click on 981. Now I'm going to go down here to buy custom, and I'm going to put a stop or stop limit in, or you can do an OCO bracket, and we'll start with OCO bracket. What this does is you're going to get filled right here at this area, right here at 9, and you can just hover over. It's going to show you 981. So you're over 981. That's kind of where your buy is going to be. So again, you're filled right here at the 981 area. Right, that's where you're going to get filled, I should say, when it comes down to that price. Now you're already in, and it shows you when you have this already set up. You will have, so this is kind of like a trade if you kind of you're busy. Oh, you know what? I like this 981 area. I got to get up and walk away. I'm going to put in 981, and I'm going to put my stop. And all you have to do is click on it. It doesn't have to stay right there. It just kind of puts it in for you. I want to put my stop at say, you know, if it goes below 953, that's my stop. So boom, that's your stop now. You know what? I want it to sell. If it gets all the way back up to this 1050 area, that's kind of like right there. I think that'd be a good area for it to get to. Boom, I'm there. So you're all in right there. Either way, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you can't adjust it. You're going to be in 2,000 shares at 981. If it gets back up to this area at 1040, you're selling right there, or 1036, wherever you set it at. Boom, it's going to sell all 2,000. And then if it gets all the way down here, your stop loss, it's going to hit it and it's going to sell. So that's what I love about that OCO brackets. That's what I was saying right here. You can set up to 3 to where you have different, so you can scale out either way. And usually you just have your one all out here. What I like to do, if you did that, put one wherever your stop loss is going to be, and then put scale out areas. So you can put one right here at $10. You can put one right here at $10.13. That's where I like to use those OCO brackets. That is huge when you want to just kind of walk away from a trade. Now, that's something I don't suggest for a new trader. You always want to be looking at your trades when you're newer on, so you get used to what you're trading at. But once you get experience and you kind of want to walk away from your trade and like, I'm good, let me try this trade out right here. That's how you put a trade in where you kind of want to walk away. Now, anytime you're like, okay, I want to cancel it, you just load it right here and you just click on it. Boom, it's canceled. Now, same thing right here. You can do the same thing. We'll go down here again in the same area around 1080 or so. Go down to, now buy is just going to buy it right away. Sell is going to do the same thing if you wanted to sell. Now buy custom with the stop. Now it's just going to put one stop in down here for you, and you can put it wherever you want. So that way you can then buy, it's going to buy for you right here, but this is the sell. So what you're going to have to do a lot of the time is after you get filled, you're going to have to then cancel this stop. You're going to have to cancel it like that, and that way you still get filled because, or I should say after, you're still already filled, but a lot of times what it's going to do, and as to me, you have to cancel that sell order down there, or it won't let you actually sell back out. That's why sometimes you have to be on top of your stock. That's why you put your OCO brackets in, because these buy customs with the stop and stop limit, these are just essentially saying, hey, I'm putting in a buy order for you, and there's a limit of where I want this to get to. And see, that's a limit. So this is what I thought. So the stop limit, I don't know, you can't really adjust it. It's kind of down here, however far away, and that's your limit price. And that's why I never do the stop limit. The only one I ever do would be the OCO brackets, but I'm usually watching my play, so I'm not doing the OCO brackets, but it's good to have so that way if you do want to walk away, you can, or is with the stop. Now, here's where I want to get into why I would, if for those traders that want to get a trailing stop. Say you want to get filled, you say you want a trailing stop. The only way you can actually ever adjust a trailing stop is if you're actually in. That's the only unfortunate thing. And I'm going to show you how you can do a trailing stop, but the only way you can do a trailing stop is if you're actually ever into a play. You can't set a trailing stop, unfortunately, from the get-go. Unfortunately, for right now, there is no way, and I've even looked at the videos online. I haven't called them yet to make sure and ask, but the videos I've found online, and it was, I think, it's from ThinkorSwim, was this video to do it. There's, of course, I don't know why from the get-go it just doesn't say with trailing stop. Doesn't make sense to why they don't let you do that, but you can once you're actually into a play. Maybe that's why most trailing stops, maybe that's for other brokers. You can't actually do a trailing stop unless you're actually into a play. I don't know that for sure, but that's just how it is on ThinkorSwim. So how to do it? We're going to go ahead and do it now. We'll go ahead and say, I'm going to do a play that's not TAOP. That's super crazy. But say you want to get into, say, what is a play that really has not moved too much today that we can just pretend is a super crazy mover? Well, here's a crazy dump off. That would be almost one to want to get into and watch it move up. And it really doesn't matter any of these plays. So let's just get into, honestly, what was the one we were just looking at? TAOP. That's right. The one that's moving crazy today. Say we want to get into TAOP. And we'll just go, like I said, here's how you literally can just do one share. One share. And here's how I get into any play if I'm looking to, of course, my dip buys team, I'm right clicking. So right there, that's how I am getting into play. So if I'm waiting for my play, I'm right clicking, I'm doing a buy custom with a stop, and then all I'm doing right there is I'm putting my order in, and I'm already watching my play, so I usually don't keep that there unless I kind of get up for a minute, and I'll leave that there. Like, hey, that's the thing. If I have to get up for a second, I have the dogs, or I'm doing something else, I get a phone call from, all the different stuff, the few other things to edit, whatever other things I have to do and take phone calls, I leave that stop in there at a certain price just in case it does just shoot down through. I got filled. It shoots it because that's happened before. Luckily, this didn't get filled. Remember one time I got filled and it almost hit it and came back up, and it was a small play. But point being, that's why you keep that in there in case you're not around and you're like, oh my God, did fill what? Oh my gosh. So you keep this in there so that way you don't take a massive loss. But when I am looking for my bounce plays, we're all watching, we're all sitting in chat like, yeah, let's watch it. And I'm alerting, I'm looking for a 980 bounce play team, blah, 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 blah. I am doing this. I am right clicking, doing custom buy or buy custom and with the stop like I just did. Of course, you can put many, and this is how you do it. You can put one right here. You can put one down here at, say, I want to get filled at 1040. I want to put one right here at, say, this area. And you can put as many as you want in, and they're going to get filled as they get hit. So you want to cancel them? Again, cancel it. You want to cancel this one? Just press it and cancel. There's two real close to each other. Press the X button, and what it's going to do is it's going to pop up which one to cancel. So I want to cancel the higher one. I want the 83. So regardless, anywho, you have it filled. I'm then immediately pressing the X button. So because that's happened before, where once this, for whatever reason, this is the only sell you can have, that one sell order sitting there. It won't let you then go up here and market order out. So I have to X out of this, which that's why most times I go ahead and do it when I'm sitting here, like I said, 9:30, 10 o'clock, whatever time the bell's just rung in the last, hours since it's been open essentially. We're all waiting for our plays. That's why I go ahead and right click, put an order in, go ahead and cancel that. Go ahead and cancel the sell order. So that's already done. So as soon as this comes down and gets filled, I'm back up to this and say I'll go ahead and move this. So say if I'm looking for 1,000, because like I said, I'm going in all at once like deck, or unlike deck. I'm only going in all at once at a good bounce play. That's why I'm doing this again on paper trading, because I know all the trades deck has. So that's why it's good to do on paper trading. I'm going in 1,000 shares right here. Well, I went to sell. That's why. Gotcha. There's that little noise you're hearing. But buy custom, stop. So I'm buying 1,000 shares right here. Now immediately, boom, right click until that's out of there. So now my buy still sitting there in the area I want at 979 for a quick pullback to 980. And now I'm waiting for it. And so as soon as I get filled, and I wish just to do it right here while I'm doing this video, but as soon as this gets filled, what am I waiting for, team? Boom, it's filled, and I'm going straight up here to 500 shares because I always usually get out half right away, and I'm selling as soon as it shoots back up to one of my profit areas. So boom, selling market, I'm out 500 shares. So I'm limit ordering in right here at the 980 area. Then I'm immediately, as soon as I'm filled, going up to sell. So let's do this again. Right click. I want this area. I'm going on to buy custom with a stop. Awesome. Let me go. Okay, that's regardless. I'm 500 shares. Here's what I want. 500 shares around the 980 area. Now, immediately, team, if you're watching it and you're just waiting, you're not one to walk away from it. Now, if you're going to walk away, okay, let me walk away real quick. Boom. You keep that there. Now, maybe if you want to keep it there, that's fine, but I don't. I'm not leaving right now, right? If I'm not leaving, I'm not going anywhere. I am just waiting for this. I am waiting for this. I am clicking on this, and it's done. It's over with. So now all I'm waiting for is for this to get filled. And as soon as it does, whammy, I'm right down to my fill. I'm filled. I'm going up to this now. Even if it's 200, if it's 500 shares, which you see me sometimes get into plays with 500 shares, I immediately press 250. I'm immediately up to that. Boom, I'm at 250. So now I can then go sell market. I'm out twice. Or okay, it's hovering above my, I'm around hovering, but it's staying up well. It's on the bounce. Now that's where I may go down from 250 because I only have 250 shares to maybe 150. I sell 150. So now I'm down to just 100 shares. And that's exactly what I did earlier on the short, actually, on a play that we played earlier today, RSVA. So the same thing, we'll do it with RSVA. Like we want the short, or I said we want a bounce play. You just click it in wherever you want it. You want or I shouldn't say that, it wasn't the bounce play, but that's what I did earlier on the scout, or I should say on the short down, right? I wanted the short of the trend line, and that's just it. You just kind of short. You go in 500 shares, and then you're in get out half. So now you're only 250 shares, and then get out maybe 150 shares. So now you're only in 100 shares, and then maybe get out 50 shares. So you're only in 50 shares. So you kind of just slowly scale your way out, especially with the free trading that we get now. So hopefully you get that, how I put in a limit order for bounce plays. Right click, go down to custom buy with a stop. I'm ready for let's get over 150 shares. That's just goofy. That just makes it look goofy. But immediately, of course, that'll cancel, but go however many shares you're going to go in. So you're going to go in 1,000 shares, right click, buy custom with a stop. Immediately, especially if you're watching. Now, if you're not watching it again, move this up to a good stop loss area so you're not going to watch it. But if you're all watching it, immediately just get rid of this so you can sell it. So boom, click on that X. Now you're just waiting to get filled. As soon as you get filled, you're immediately going straight up here and trying to get, immediately half your share size in immediately. So that way, as soon as you get to a good target point on the bounce up, so here to me would be like the 930 mark would be great. I'd probably take even, maybe it depends on if it was struggling, I'd take 10. I'd take half the plate off at 10. So a 20 cents bounce, I'd take that. So you take half off the plate, and then you're down, like I said, then if you're from there, you're only on 250 shares, or you're only in 500 shares. So then boom, type in 250. But that's how I scale out as well, and that's how I kind of trade as well. But just to show you how I put a order in. Now, to set a trailing stop in real quick. Let's go ahead and just get back in this play. Boom, we're in. Whatever. We're in this play at 10.95 for one share. So we go over to our monitor tab. And now with our monitor tab, see, we're in. We go to the unallocated area. We're going to right click on TAOP, create a closing order with a stop. And now it's immediately going to take you over to the Trade and All Products tab. It's just going to do that every time. And what you're going to do is this is where your order is. It's down here. Your order is this right here. This is your order. You're going to go over to order area, and you're going to change this to look. As you can see now, you can have a trail stop. That's where you can change it right here. This is where you change it. Trail stop. And now if you want percentage, or do you want dollar? There's your percentage, or you want dollar. This is your dollar. So say if you want a 10-cent trail stop, there's your trail stop. Or say if you want, maybe, you want it to move up 25 cents. So that's your 25-cent trail stop. So as it moves up, it will go 25 cents. And now let me show you this. This is the mark button. Now, the mark is good when you have a close, bid and ask. Now, see, this is 2 cents. So, TOP right now isn't bad. Earlier TOP spread, like right now, see the TOP spread? That's huge. Mark's going to take halfway in between the bid and the ask. It's going to take halfway in between the two. So right now it'd be like at 10, you get a 10, what's that, a 1080 fill? That would be your fill. So on a higher trade stock, or I should say, a higher spread stock, you're going to want to put it on the ask or the bid, whatever you'd rather get filled at. The ask the bid would be better, the last price maybe, but when you put it on the mark, it's going to take almost, I wouldn't say the average price, but it's almost the same thing as the average price, where it's going to take the average of these two right there. And that sometimes isn't going to be a great fill. You're going to get a bad fill sometimes with that. So be wary that with mark, this is for a stock with a 1 to 2, maybe 3 cent spread at most. If you get over a 5 cent spread, change it to the ask bid or last price. That's where I would change it to. Now again, what you're going to do is change it to the trail stop. And if you want it to be 25 cents, boom, confirm and send. And then yes, send it, and then whammy. And there is your new trailing stop for TAOP. And it's in effect, as you can see, let's go back to the charts. There's your trail stop. And it's going to be set in 25 cents. As you can see, if I want to hover over it, you're going to see mark minus 25 cents from the close where we entered in at. So, right now, or wherever we entered in that last little trade, which was set at, I think, 10.99. See, the mark was set at 10.99. Or where was it set at? 1095 trade price. So 1095 was where that was set in at. Okay, that's what I thought. And it is your average entry price. So it's going to be 25 cents from that area of where you got in. So right now, if it goes down to, what's that? That would be 1070. That's where it would trigger. And if it goes, and as long as it moves up, that's where it's going to move up, the price. The trail stop's going to continue to move up. As you can see, if we just continue to watch it here, that's where the new mark, the mark price is, where the trail price is, where it's going to actually go through at. And if you want to change it, you just right click, create closing order with a stop. Now we're going to go back up here and you're like, no, I didn't like that trail stop. Let's go back to 10 cents. Let's just do 10 cents. Or like I said, you want percentage. So you can just change it to, and usually, like I said, usually people aren't going to use percentage as much, but that's how you just click on this right here, and that's how you change it. And I don't know what this one is. I didn't go through that one as well, but that's your percentage, and that's your money, and how much, your trail stop. And of course, we don't want a $6 trail stop. But yes, that's exactly how you would create a trail stop, though, just so you know. You have to be into the trade, and then you're going to go over to your monitor tab. You're going to right click on it, create a closing order with a stop. Then right here, you're going to see the order. You go over to the order, and it's a stop for now, but you can move it to a trail stop and move it 10, if you want money or you want percentage. There's your percentage. You just click on that. It's going to start with the plus minus. That's your money. You want 10 cents. You want $1. That's how you create that. All right. So I think the last thing I want to get through here for the day would really be, again, I think I've kind of hit everything on the dot that I've went through, how I have my graph set up, what I'm looking for. Usually I'm on the flex grid to start the day. And then, of course, from the flex grid, after I get out of the flex grid, if I want to look at just one stock in particular, I love going over to the charts grid, and then boom, I'm looking at one chart and one chart only. Now, if I'm wanting to look at, say, one chart, and I want to look at in a lot of different time frames, one good way to be doing it would be if you just want to leave it like your flex grid like this, because it is a slower day. Now, this is only for slower days, and so you want a 1 minute. I'll put the 3 minute, usually at 1 minute up top, the 3 minute down below, the 5 minute right here. And then we move this to TAOP, this to TAOP. And so you have, this will change, the 1 minute, the 3 minute, the 5 minute. And then right here, what I'll do is I'm going to change this to the daily or the yearly. And so that way I can really see the high point, and you can see where it can maybe literally, as it did almost today, got up to $15. You can see this upper shadow before. So that way I can really, really take a glance essentially of what the stock is doing. 1, 3, 4. Now, if it's a busy day, we have like GameStop type when it was GameStop, and we had AMC rolling, we had all these different stocks rolling. Just say, it's one of these days where it's like this, and then you want to really trade one stock and you start liking it. My top stocks say it's always on the top hand, the top chart. So I'll be looking at this first. And they're all like saying we're at the 1 minute time frame. Whatever time of the day it is, it doesn't really matter. But we're in the 1 minute time frame, and it's a busier day. So this is when it wasn't busy. You can go all the same stock. I'll go 1 minute, 3 minute, 5 minute, and the yearly. Now, when it's busy and we're looking at a lot of different stocks, and I'm like, ooh, I love, I'm looking at Tesla big time, and I really want to look at Tesla. I'll go straight over to just looking at, say, Tesla right here, and I'm only looking at Tesla. So the main thing right here is that you can really see a lot clearer, right? And of course it looks a little, because it's not the one, it's literally later in the day, I know that. But when it's earlier on, or if you want the 3 minute, however you like looking at it, and so that's where sometimes like this, like, oh, I don't like this fall off. So I may have to go down here to my style, go to the settings, go to appearance, do this real quick, apply. You see that I can't stand that little drop off right there. But my point is, that's where I'm looking at one stock. And I can really dive into it and really trade it a lot better when I can really look at one. Now, another way to be able to look at literally, and this is one addition that POV Joshua wanted me to add to this lesson, is where you can look at, of course, here's your 4. And you can, when you first set up ThinkorSwim with this flex grid window, you can actually set up more than 4. You can delete. You can just have 2 set up here. You can have 1 just here. You can add, 6 or 7, however many you want. You can add different when you first set this up, the widgets, and you can even add it from here if you want to now, but I like setting it up just like this. Now the main thing is going over your charts tab again, and see it's a huge right here, how it just has one big rectangle. Click on that. Now here's that one big rectangle. So you can literally have up to 32 charts at once. Now this is when you have a big screen and you can just look at so many different charts, and you want to look at just anything you want to look at, you can just look at it from this, boom. And now the main thing is when you want to look at, like, say, 2, But see, this is where it's side by side, where I like going over to the trade tab, and it's on, of course, usually on Active Trader. This is where I can look at, and look at this. Look how these run together. Look how beautiful, for the most part, especially in after hours, look identical. But look how it's easier to look at these up and down on top of each other. Now, this is where you want to look at, say, and usually it's not just 2, it's usually like 4, and you can adjust it, but you can do it just like this. And this is where now you can look at the one. Say if you're really wanting to look at one chart, say from the Flex Grid, you can look at one chart when it's a little slower. You can look at, like I said, the Tesla at the 1, the 3, the 5, and the hour when it gets longer into the day. Or you can look at earlier today, Tesla 1 and the 3 right here, and then another chart in the 1 and the 3. Or look at the yearly real quick if you need to. But here's where you can go over the charts grid, and you can set it up to 1. You can do it this way. You can have 3 charts this way. Depends on, say if you're in depends on how you have your TV set up. Say if you want it, you want 6 charts going down this way like this. You can do it this way. You can have 6 charts set up this way. However you want it. Having a big enough TV where you can look at this, big enough monitor where usually I'm never more than 6 going this way to give you kind of like a double flex grid. So you can have, and of course, when you do this, you're going to have to, team, which that's my fault. When you do this, team, you're going to have to take off, the time and sales. You're just going to be looking at the chart. You're just going to have the 1 day, the 1 minute, and this down here, which I forgot to get to on the flex grid. That's my fault. All I have down here on the flex grid down here at the bottom, sorry, I didn't get to that, is just the trade tab. So I have the trade tab right here. That's the chart, obviously. You got to have the C always up. And the level 2. Sometimes I'll take the level 2 down, but it's just the trade tab, and it's just the charts tab. So that way I can actually see the stock. You can adjust the minute right here if you want to, the style if you want to. Of course, like I said, they just hover over it. It shows you what it is. It's the same thing as up here. Of course, it's written out beside it up here, but it's the same thing. And now to adjust this, here's what I want in this. The same things, except the only thing I really have is cancel. Because when I get into a trade down here, I'm not just going to continue to watch GME down here. Like say, and I'll go ahead and do it. Like say, I want to get a GME. Boom. I can't right now because it's after hours, but boom, I buy market, boom, I'm in right there. So I'm immediately going over to my charts tab. And of course, usually this is just set up to 1. And so I'm immediately going up to my charts tab, and I'm going to GME, which I'm usually already kind of looking at, but if not, I just got in it real quick. That's how fast I'm going to try to do that. Boom, and I'm in GME. Oh, look, and it's shooting up awesome. Let me go over to sell here, blah, 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 and then I'm selling it. So that's what I do when I'm in. That's why I don't have flat in there, because as soon as I'm in one of these stocks, I press buy, and I'm immediately either changing this stock if I want to it, immediately changing it to whatever, or I'm going over my charts tab, especially when the one's already pulled up because I can really see it better there, and then immediately changing the ticker over there if it's not there, if it was a different ticker. But that's what I like to do. That's why I have just buy, market, cancel, and then just a quantity there, and auto send. I always just have, and that I'm usually not trading pre-market, so I don't need the TIF. I don't need the template. All I have is the auto send, and it's all on the top line. Buy, market, sell, cancel the quantity, and that's it. So that way, if I want to adjust this, I can adjust it. And each stock's going to be different, but that's how I have each one of these set up. The chart itself, maybe the level 2 if I can still, which I can see it here easily on my Mac, and then of course the trade tab, the top button, so you can actually trade and get into a trade there if it starts moving. And of course, that's how you, if you want to actually move these. That was actually just not realized it's actually on a limit order, but that's how you actually move these around. So that way, if I buy these or whatever, you get my point. You're actually filled or not filled. That's of course when it on market. If you want filled right away, I think even if it was on limit order, I think you get filled right away with B buy MKT because you're buy at market. Boom, you're in just like that. Again, trade tab, the charts tab, and level 2, and that way right here you just need to customize it. Always the little gear hand, but buy market, sell market, cancel quantity. You get it. I think that's pretty much it though. Other than that, I think I've kind of gone over everything. Boy, that would have been a good buy right there on GME when I kind of wanted to buy in there, right? But that's how I think I've kind of gone to go over everything. I mean, besides, this again, like I said, that's how you kind of adjust however many you want, which is super cool. This little button right there. Again, you wanted to show the widget, detach the widget. You can literally detach it if you want to, which is super cool. And then boom, then you just have your own little chart out to the side here, and you can trade it if you want to. Like if I want to trade GM, I don't have to be in the platform. I can literally detach a chart itself, and then have it over to the side. I'm just watching GME. I can just have this say that the actual platform down. You see what I'm saying? And then just kind of look at that if I just want that little tab up. Now you can't close down the platform. You have to have this up still, but it's still nice to have that option. I think that's it. I wrapped it all up. I've kind of gone over everything from the basic setup of how to kind of maneuver around ThinkorSwim, you know, all the little different windows like this one that you can have, and how to get in and out of the widgets with the three little, just hover over something and it'll show it to you. And I think if I haven't gone over it, like I said, just kind of maneuver your way through it and you'll figure it out. But those are the main ways I kind of, what I use on ThinkorSwim, how to use some of the stuff on ThinkorSwim. I've kind of gone over every little thing. And of course, what I use on a day in, day out basis, and how my chart looks, what's on my chart, what my charts look like. And like I said, pretty basic, nothing too crazy, you know, going on here. It's like I said, we're not trying to fly to NASA or trying to fly to Mars here. To the moon, though, you know, just trying to get to the moon. But yeah, anyway, AK47 over at DeckMyTrades via TradeCaster.com. Josh Smith Prime Trading here on Instagram, and of course YouTube. And that was the ThinkorSwim tutorial and setup video.